A big relief for tens of millions of Americans, including those people living on a fixed monthly benefit like Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB. Let's get into it and talk about why these tens of millions of Americans can breathe a sigh of relief, at least for a little while. Hey everyone, welcome. Thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and I am back for you each and every day in videos just like this one as your one and only daily advocate, helping you out in any way that I can, as well as bringing you all the latest updates hot off the wire as they're being released, and talking about other very important topics just like what we're going to discuss right here in this video. So again, thank you so much for your support. Subscribe down below, and I promise you I'll be here for you every single day, helping out in any way I can. All right. So, as we know, as of late, Congress has been an absolute mess over the last couple weeks here, right? I don't think there's any better way to describe it than just to say Congress is a mess, seriously. So, as they came back from their long summer recess, remember they were gone for pretty much the entire month of August, and then they were gone for about half of September. Well, after they returned in about mid-September time, they had a ton on their plate the second half of September, and now that we're about a third of the way through October, it's all spilling into this month as well, and the chaos continues, right? However, they continue to be faced with deadline after deadline, and as they approach the deadline, typically hours before the deadline actually hits, they usually come together and pass some type of legislation to continue things going and to avert a major issue. Well, that is currently what they are doing as of right now. Now, it has not completely been passed yet, but we anticipate it'll be completely passed here, once again averting a major issue, but yet they're just kicking it down the road for about 6 weeks from now, and then we're going to be faced with the same issue once again. This is in reference to suspending the debt ceiling. Now again, I know we've been talking about this a lot lately, simply because this is a major issue and it has been in the headlines a lot lately. Now, just the other day, the Senate actually voted, and they voted 61 votes is what they achieved. They needed 60 votes and they got 61. So they're actually moving forward to actually suspend the debt ceiling and allocate an additional $480 billion to keep the government so that they can continue paying all of their bills and obligations basically through November, essentially until December 1st. Now, this is going to avert a major issue, simply because, as we've talked about many times here over the last couple of weeks, if the government went into this situation where they defaulted on their bills and obligations, in other words, they can't pay their bills, remember that? We've talked about that before. If this would have happened, as in they didn't have the money to do it, right? But because of this congressional action, they should be able to move forward and pay all of their bills, assuming that it actually does pass through the House of Representatives, which we're still waiting on further information. They have not done that yet. And then, of course, provided it's signed by the president, which, of course, if it gets to his desk, he will probably sign it, right? I have no doubt at all that he'll sign it. But as we've talked about for a couple weeks now, if this would have happened, whereas the country went into this default, as in we couldn't pay the bills on the federal level, things like this, we were talking about many people, like tens of millions of people, who possibly receive these monthly benefits, as well as many other people, federal workers, service members, all kinds of people across the board, and of course, Social Security beneficiaries, SSDI, SSI, VA, RRB. All of these tens of millions of beneficiaries could have potentially been seeing some major delays on the delivery of their payments. Now, we've talked about this before as well, and I just want to reiterate. It does not mean that your benefits would stop. Nope, I'm not saying that at all. You would still get the money from your benefits, but what they were talking about across all these headlines and talking about this suspension of the debt ceiling and this potential default, things like that, they were talking about potentially all of these people seeing some major delays in the delivery of your payments. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, at least for about 6 or 7 weeks, until we're in this same situation once again around the 1st of December. Pretty much late November, December 1st, it sounds like that is when the hammer's coming down once again. And the reason I say that, they have allocated $480 billion. According, apparently, to their calculations, that is the amount of money that they need to continue to pay all of the bills and obligations through pretty much the entire month of October, well, the remaining days of October that we have here, and then the entire month of November, and then pretty much December 1st, according to these calculations and according to the $480 billion that they've allocated, that'll get them through basically November. That's a ton of money. Could you even imagine spending $480 billion between now and December 1st? It'd be some pretty happy holidays, right? I mean, I think a lot of us would have a lot of fun with that. I think a lot of us would probably have a hard time buying enough things to spend $480 billion. We could buy all the houses, the cars, the jets, and all that stuff that we could ever want, and you'd probably still have money left over, right? That would be a ton of money, seriously. To put that into perspective, that would be like sending out, well, what would it be? Another $1,400 stimulus check to essentially every single person that already received them the last time, plus probably another, what would it be even? Another probably $600 stimulus check to all of those people once again. So probably it would be sending out a $2,000 stimulus check to pretty much everybody that received them this last time from the $1,400 check. Again, that's just me doing some rough mental math right there, but it would be about a $2,000 stimulus check to about 85% of our population in this country. That's a lot of money, right? Yeah, that's a lot of people right there. So about 283 million people would receive $2,000. That's pretty much what it would come out to, right? So, well, thereabouts anyway. But yeah, that'd be a lot of people and a lot of money, just to kind of put that into perspective a little bit further. So anyway, so now many of these people who are, receiving these monthly benefits that we talked about, and everybody else who probably falls under this umbrella that may have been receiving delayed payments, can breathe a sigh of relief for at least a couple weeks here until we approach late November. Then once again, we're going to be faced with this same issue once again, where they need to either raise the debt ceiling and or suspend the debt ceiling, whatever they decide to do on this. But either way, some action does need to actually happen here. Otherwise, we could be facing this potential default once again as of around December 1st or thereabouts. It could be off by a couple days, but that's essentially what could happen. But then again, one more thing that we can look at too is the Treasury could deploy some of these emergency measures just like they did this time. Now remember, this whole debt ceiling issue actually went down the end of July, but the Treasury has been deploying some of these emergency measures to continue everything funded for the last couple months now. Well, they could actually do that once again once we achieve maybe like this, late November time, December 1st time. So that could potentially even bring us into probably around, what would that be, about March time or so of 2022. So once again, dragging this issue out a little bit further, they could ultimately do that if they just so wanted to do so, right? So yeah, there are some other tools out there that the Treasury has and things like this to actually continue to keep the government funded and continue paying all the obligations. But this is one thing that I wanted to lay out here because we've talked about it in previous videos saying, hey, Social Security, all of these beneficiaries could potentially be seeing delays to the delivery of your payments as a result of this potential default coming. Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore now because Congress is figuring it out. Well, we anticipate they're going to anyway. It was passed through the Senate just the other day, and now it goes on to the House, which again, the House is on recess, but we're kind of waiting for Nancy Pelosi to make the official call to call everybody back and say, hey, we got to come back and we got to vote on this because it's very important. And then it'll go over to the president and he'll sign it into law and then it's official. And then we don't have to worry for a long time, right? So anyway, I wanted to come back and bring all this to you and let you know what's going on with all this because I know some of you have been reaching out saying, what's going on with this? Are we going to miss our payments or what? First off, I just have to say you never were going to miss your payments in the first place. You weren't going to miss your payments. You're still going to get them, but they were talking about potentially getting some delays to the delivery of your payments. And again, the delay word was the big wild card that we didn't know the answer to simply because the delay could have been a day. It could have been a week, it could have been a month, we have no clue. Nobody seemed to know the answer as far as how long that delay may have actually been, right? But now we don't need to worry about it, at least for a while anyway. But I'll continue watching everything very closely as we get more details on this, or if there's anything else out there that we need to potentially keep on our radar or, worry about, don't worry, I'll continue to let you know about all that. But as of right now, the coast is clear for at least a little while, so you don't need to worry about things. Your payments will continue on schedule as they always have, and no worries going forward for the next time we face this issue, right? So anyway, hope this helps you out to some degree. I know some of you have been asking, and I know I've talked about this a few times over the last couple of weeks here, but it's been in the headlines and we've seen this time and time again about these potential delays, but like I said, that's not something to worry about right now. So anyway, have a nice day. Hope this helps you. Again, subscribe down below. It's totally free to do so. I'll continue to be here for you every single day, laying all this information out, helping you out in any way that I possibly can, and bringing you all the latest updates as they are hitting the wire. Again, apparently Congress is supposed to be in session this weekend, doing some things. We'll see about that, if they're actually going to be there and what they actually get accomplished, right? It's always a wild card to see what they actually do. So either way, enjoy your day, subscribe down below, and again, I'll be here for you every single day with all the latest updates. Enjoy, and I'll catch you again later.